Hello, my name's Trevor Dumbleton. I'd like to talk to you today about getting an internet marketing coach. And probably the best reason for that is that all top achievers, regardless of whatever field they're in, use a coach. And that goes for sportsmen, it goes for performers, writers even use that. Absolutely anyone who's the top in their field, guarantee that they'll use a coach. So if you want to be top or even partially good, but I'm hoping you want to be top or very good, you need a coach. It's really as simple as that. And that's because a good coach will help you achieve results. Partly it really is as simple as you're accountable to someone, because it's very easy to make up excuses in your own head and think, yeah, I'll do it later or tomorrow or whatever, and we all know that tomorrow just keeps getting put off and procrastinated on. Whereas if you're working with a good coach, they will actually make sure effectively that you keep on track. Part of the way of doing that is that there'll be a regular call with them, and you'll need to say what you've done, what you haven't done, what if any your excuses are, and what you plan to do. And actually committing it out loud to someone else is a fantastic way anyway. It's a really good way. If you ever got a goal or whatever, if you've ever told your friends, oh, I'm going to lose weight or I'm going to quit smoking or anything else like that, you'll find that they'll keep nagging you and say, have you done it yet? Have you done it yet? And that's pretty much what a coach does, but in your business. So it'll be very specific. A lot of the stuff that we do on internet marketing you can't necessarily talk to your friends about, because they say, oh well, it's virtual, or we don't believe you, or whatever else. You need someone who understands what you're doing and why you're doing it. And that means that a good coaching program will actually be tailored for you. The coach won't know ahead of time what you're going to ask, because, well, you might have told them, you might have dropped them an email, but chances are they'll have dropped you an email back saying, have you thought about doing this or that or the other? So a lot of it will be almost on the fly, but because you're tapping into the coach's experience, they'll probably know enough about it. They're not a teenager anymore. They've been there, done that. If you chose to use me, I've been on the internet since 1995. That's a lot of change. Seen it go from being very, very small, very, very small, to companies like Google being born, Facebook being born, and then mobile phones taking over as the medium of choice for using it. And all those changes have taken place in the last 18 years, quite a lot of them in the last 3 or 4. So you need a coach who not only will tailor the program for you, but also is up to date with what's happening, because if they're out of touch, the advice you'll get will be out of date. And in the internet world, last week's advice is probably still fresh, last year's advice probably isn't. But tailored for you, because you'll hit certain things. You might just have a stumbling block on things. We all do. And your coach will work with you to work around it, or just to find a different way of doing it, because that's the beauty of the internet. There's almost always different ways of doing it as well. And we've all got gaps in our knowledge. There's certain things I really am clueless about. Twitter I still don't understand, but I'm getting to grips with things like Facebook and the internet generally, and mobile technology, and lots of different things that you can use. And if I don't know it, that's fine. I'll be honest and say, right, I don't, but I know someone who does, because again, that's the joy of finding a coach who knows what they're doing, because they'll have contacts, and they, generally speaking, the gaps in your knowledge probably aren't particularly big, unless you'd literally started internet marketing yesterday, in which case a coach may not be the best advice for you yet, although it could be. You've probably got almost all the gaps already filled in. It's just putting the pieces of the jigsaw together, and it is a bit like having a 1,000 or a 2,000 piece jigsaw scattered in front of you, and maybe it's of an ocean or something like that, because the bits could go in the right place, or they might go in the wrong place, and you need to make sure that they all go in the right place. And again, that's where an internet marketing coach will help big time. And internet marketing isn't rocket science, so a good coach again will give you step-by-step instructions, pretty much a blueprint, in the same way as a builder wouldn't start building a house without having a blueprint of what they're going to do. A carpenter wouldn't just start sawing. It's the old adage of measure twice, cut once. You need a blueprint. You can't just start doing something and hope it's going to work, especially if you're relying on information that's old. But the blueprint will help you basically get to where you want to get to, and even before you start, it will give you a good idea of where you're going to get to, and you can double think and just think, actually, is that what I want to do? Is it achievable? Most things are. And is it a direction I want to go in? And there's nothing wrong with getting as far as doing a blueprint, going through the blueprint, thinking, yeah, that, ooh, no, don't like that bit, and then restarting. It's a lot easier to do that than it is to get 3, 6, 9, 12 months down the road and then suddenly find that actually you really don't want to do that direction and you've got to start again. So spending time with your blueprint and the step-by-step instructions, time worth spending. It's very much, you've got a plan to work off, and if you do that, that works a lot better. Most coaches, myself included, will give you email access to them, and it depends who you deal with. Some people will put you through their team, so you almost never get an email response from the person you first thought of. Nothing wrong with that in and of itself, because quite often the team will be used to answering the questions, and help desks work that way. The frontline response deals with the top 10 most regularly asked questions, and only if it goes beyond that do you need to go any further, because that's an easy way of doing it. On the other hand, certain coaches will give you unlimited email access, and it depends what you want. Chances are you won't use it because you should be working on your business rather than typing out questions all the time, but certainly when you get stuck, email access is well worth having, because just tap out a quick email. It doesn't matter what your time zone is, what your coach's time zone is, what hours you both work, you'll get a response pretty fast, and it'll be tailored to you again. And that's, so if you're stuck on, I don't know, uploading a YouTube video and you couldn't find one to tell you, chances of that is low. But if it's something else, I tend to do quite techie stuff, so if I get stuck, it probably really is stuck on the geeky stuff. But most other people I could talk you through almost blindfold. So lots of different ways, but email access for whatever you're stuck on, no matter how daft it might sound, because if it's the thing that's holding you back, you need it sorted. The other difference with a good internet marketing coach is that they'll actually have Skype calls, maybe scheduled ones every week, maybe ad hoc ones, maybe a mixture of both. But you need that kind of voice thing, because again, emails are okay, but they're a bit impersonal. Skype chat's okay, but it's a bit impersonal, as in the messaging side of things. But if you're actually talking to someone, they can pick up the tone of your voice. So if they say point blank, have you done that, they'll work out whether or not you're basically trying to wing it, or whether you've done it properly, or whether you don't actually know what you're talking about. And again, that doesn't matter, because if you admit that, then you can work on it. If you don't admit it, I was talking to someone a few weeks ago and they were saying, well, we're doing some kind of tipping service effectively. I said, well, put it up on one of the proofing sites on the web, and the line went silent, which meant that actually they didn't. They weren't doing a workable system, and you can pick that up. Again, it doesn't matter, but it's not the direction you want to go in if you're trying to teach people. And it's that kind of personal one-on-one help if you get stuck in wherever it is. And that could have been worked out, but the person we were talking to ran away. It was too scary to actually have to do something properly, and they wouldn't have been a good fit. But as long as you're ethical, honest, and want to earn money internet marketing, then a good coach will help you through it and will take you from whatever level you are to a lot higher. All you need to do is look at some of the results that people get from coaching, and you'll find they go on leaps and bounds, because it's the confidence element and the fact that you've actually got someone to turn to, rather than wait a day or two for a book to arrive from Amazon and then wonder how out of date it is, or anything else like that. If you'd like to know more about using an internet marketing coach, obviously I'd like to recommend myself, and just click on the link below this video and you'll be taken to a page that will take you to the coaching offering I've got. So go for it. I'd love to work with you. Contact me, drop me an email, drop me a message, and go for it. Thanks very much.